var is arguably the most arguable feature ever introduced in the Java platform. In this video, we will discuss var and the best practices. This video is highly suitable for those who have a little bit of prior knowledge of Java. If you are a beginner, still you have some room to learn something new and interesting for sure. Hey, your host Ashik here. I will stay with you through the discussion on var in this video. So let's start. Okay, what is var? Var, called the local variable inference in Java, introduced in Java 10. In JDK 10 and later, you can declare local variables with non-null initializers with the var identifier. That means when you are declaring var, you must be initialized that with a non-null value or reference. You cannot leave a variable unassigned or null while declaring var. Before discussing further details, let's see some example of declaring a var. We can declare var using the var keyword and then define the name of the type and then assign the value to it. So var will be inferred by the type of the assignment and JDK can understand the type. That is the reason you cannot leave a var unassigned. Point to be noted that you can also not assign null as a value of var. By this, you will confuse the JDK about the type of reference. You can assign any object or primitive type as an assignment of var. It will simply infer the type of the right side. As you can see, the type of name is string and date of birth is local date. Similarly, height is an integer. So first question first, why var? Why cannot we use the type of the class name or other primitive type to declare a local variable? Let's see another example. I am borrowing some example from docs.oracle.com. So look at the code. Don't you think that type declaration is redundant for URL, connection and reader object? It's pretty clear the type of those objects based on the construction of those objects. Instead of declaring explicitly, we can rewrite the code segment by following. Look at the code segment now. Isn't it cleaner and easy to read? Readability and reducing redundant type declaration is the main concern of introducing var. Although we are using var to declare a local variable, it is not a keyword. It's a reserved type. That means existing code that uses var as a variable, method or package name is not affected. However, code that uses var as a class or interface name is affected and the class or interface needs to be renamed. Now let's see some other use case of var. Let's see a typical inline object declaration. Here you can see we can declare multiple objects of different types in a single line separated by comma, but you cannot do that using var. You have to declare and assign a var as a single statement. Another point to note is var by default infer primitive type if that is available. As an example, if you declare a double type using var, it will infer that as a primitive double type. You cannot use the method of double object. You have to declare the variable using the double class, not the var, if you want to use any method from the double class. We can use var to iterate inside an enhanced for loop. We can use var to declare an index variable and also try with resource block. The variable should be auto closable if you want to use with try with a resource block. Point to be noted that you can declare multiple variables with try with resource block separating by semicolon. You can also use var as the explicit parameter type of lambdas. Though we don't want to do that always, you have that flexibility. But you cannot mix up the var and another type in a lambda expression. Either you have to stick with var or you have to leave it completely. If you notice here, we are not using var to declare the bifunctions. Can you guess why? Probably you are right. We cannot use var for the lambda style code body because var and lambda both works in the opposite way. The lambda function determines the input parameters and return type using the left side declaration. Otherwise, you don't have any option to know that in lambda. On the other hand, var works the opposite. That's why we cannot use var to declare and implement a lambda body. Now let's talk about the scope of var. Where can we use var and where not? We can only use the var in the method's local scope. You cannot use var as a method parameter, return type, instance variable, and class name. Var is only applicable in the method's local scope. That's why var is called the local variable inference in Java. Let's see one last example and let's try to answer a very fearful question. Is Java going to lose its type safety by introducing var? As we learned, var can be used in the method local scope, right? Okay, if you create an inner class and try to use var there, yes, we can, but notice that you have only read access to the variable. That means from the very beginning, if you want to use any local variable in an inner class or a lambda body, the variable has to be final or effectively final. So you are completely safe to use var. As you cannot use var outside of the method's local scope, it will not break the type safety of Java. Var is nothing but a way of making the codebase more cleaner and readable. That's all about var for today. Hope you enjoyed the video and learned something new from this video. Please like, share, comment and subscribe for more. See you in the next video. Till then, stay happy and healthy. Bye.